Hey, what's going on? Kenan here, and today we're going to be hanging out with my friend Sam Pascucci. You'll remember Sam, and you'll also remember his lovely Galapagos tortoises and aldabras and all sorts of amazing animals here. But he's got one tortoise right now that's in dire need of some assistance, and hopefully we'll be able to shed some light as to what's been going on with HMS, his beautiful giant male Galapagos tortoise. So that's what we're all about here today with Sam Pascucci. Our animal mission is simple: education in action, conservation in action. This is Kamp Kenan. All right, Sam, where is HMS? I know you've been having some drama with him. Why don't you fill everybody in as we go find him?
Okay.
Like, what's going on with HMS and how long have you had him?
I've had HMS about 30 years.
Okay.
And, you know, it's kind of a long story. You know, over the last few years, he's gotten sick. And we were never really sure what was wrong with him. So at different times, you know, first we thought that it was, you know, some sort of a pneumonia situation.
Okay.
We get him checked out. It's not a pneumonia situation. He's got some kind of GI. No, don't go in there.
Don't go in there.
Sorry.
Sorry about that.
Because you don't want to contaminate it?
The pens are isolated.
Oh, okay.
So we follow a very strict
protocol.
Very strict protocol.
And I know where it is. There's the bleach tub. So you've got him isolated. You
Yes.
don't know what it is. Pneumonia. Keep
No,
going,
we
buddy.
do know. Eventually we figured out what it is, but I was just kind of giving you the backstory. You know, every year this tortoise would get sick, and we would, what the hell's going on? He would either get sick going into the winter, or he would get sick coming out of the winter, going into spring. So, you know, we have records, and we go back and look at those records. And the odd thing was, that every time that this tortoise got sick, he got sick when he was doing the best. Just didn't make sense to me. How does a tortoise get sick when he's doing the best? He's eating more, he's jumping the females more, he's the most active. 2 weeks later, he's sick.
Weird.
Weird, you know, you think the opposite would happen. So, you know, we were thinking it was different foods he was eating. We were trying him on different foods. We thought maybe it was stress. A lot of different things we considered over years. This is maybe over a 3-year period.
Okay.
So what he would do, what he would display is he would produce a lot of mucus. And so I was thinking that mucus was coming out of his GI system. Well, it turns out, you know, with trying to work with him a lot, eventually we decided to send him to Gainesville. In Gainesville, he went through a lot of elaborate testing.
And in Gainesville is the, tell people out there why you sent them to Gainesville.
Well, those people have the best technology.
Who are they?
Florida University of...
The University of Florida.
University of Florida.
Yeah, there you go. The vet school up there.
Yeah, the vet school up there.
You know, basically, there aren't too many vets that know about, you know, Galapagos tortoises.
Yes.
But they have some experience with them.
They do have some experience. It's the technology that they really have.
Okay.
You go to your local vet, he won't even fit through the door.
Yeah.
They don't have an x-ray table that they can x-ray him on.
Oh, so we need booties and rubber gloves. Okay. Oh yeah, because you know, whatever you've found, is it possible that we could bring this back to some of my animals?
You know, theoretically it's possible, it's not likely.
Okay. All right, Sam,
Well,
bend over.
No, wait, we're not done yet.
Oh, we're not?
No. Here's the booties for your feet.
Ah. My
Okay,
gosh.
thank you very much.
Wow, this is...
Yours, we're just going to dip in the chlorine on the way out.
All right.
There's yours.
Thank you.
So this is similar to what I'd have to do to go visit certain zoo collections where they have a quarantine area. That's what he's trying to do here. So they've got the tub filled with bleach. So what you would do when, you know, in the in zoological institutions, you would step into it and then back out of it into the bleach, and whenever you go into the enclosure. What's the end result? What have you cut open his shell? We
drilled holes in his shells. We tubed them from the bottom, from the top. We cut a hole in his skin over here.
Oh my
we put
gosh.
a tube inside of his body to try to locate that.
How old is he?
82.
Oh, he's 82 years old. This is an old animal.
Yeah, he's an old animal. I guess we'll head in.
Let's head in there.
Okay. So I actually don't normally dip on the way in, but you can if you want.
All right, you got to put those booties on, Tom.
Yeah, I'll let you guys go in, and then I'll stop and go.
All right. So this is HMS's isolation area, but let's see what's going on with it. Where is he actually?
He's actually in this.
Oh, wow.
Now, where's the name? What's HMS?
His Majesty's ship, right?
Yeah, he was named after the ship that went down to the Galapagos. That was a Darwin ship, so it was named HMS Beagle.
Oh, okay.
And so the name HMS
Got it stuck.
Cool.
it got stuck. So I didn't name him, but all the way from back when he was born, he was named HMS.
Oh man.
Wow.
Oh man. Yeah, you can see there's a feeding tube, right? Or is that a medicine?
No, this is a feeding tube
It
here.
is, okay. So what has to happen is you have to, how often are you feeding him?
We feed him every day,
Okay.
and he gets his meds every day. And he gets a lot of medication every day.
So what is now, what was the diagnosis?
Diagnosis is fungal pneumonia.
Fungal pneumonia.
Right, fungal pneumonia. So when they went through the top of his shell over here, they had to drill a little hole, and they put down an endoscope, and they went in there, got samples of the tissues, and they send those tissue samples to a pathologist. Well, they have their own pathologist right there.
Okay.
And after a long time of growing this fungus out, they determined a subspecies, which was Fusarium, is the subspecies fungal pneumonia that he has. So we knew what he had, and it was just a matter of it being able to administrate all of those medications to him.
Now here's the $1 million question, because how much money have you spent on his treatment so far?
Okay, I'm at just the hospital was a little bit over $16,000, and then I was going through a process when I would first get him back, was costing me $250 a day for medication. $250 a day for medication.
Oh my God.
So, I scrambled real quick, came up with more inexpensive ways, buying the same drugs that we were using to treat him. So, now it's about $100 a day to treat him.
Wow.
And 82 is not, that's midlife for a Galapagos tortoise.
Yeah, so it's very challenging.
Mm-hmm.
We some of the medications we're giving him is itraconazole, which is an antifungal medication, terbinafine, which is another antifungal medication. They work together actually, and then you also we're feeding him with critical care every day.
Right.
He gets his fluids every day. He has a medication that goes for an eye because he ended up with an eye infection as well. So he has an eye medication that we're applying.
Like a secondary infection through all the stress?
Yeah. And then we also give him Metamucil.
Okay,
Kind of
keep him
just
loose.
Give him a little bit more
Fiber.
Yeah, exactly. Help some of that stuff move through because, the critical care isn't really all that thick. So those combinations of things we give him, and then kind of ironically, I was doing the research. We could not stop him from bleeding from his mouth. Every day we would come out and we would see a puddle of blood. Just blood was about like this, and then you'd see another puddle of mucus. This every day, and this is the way I got him home.
And that's
just
stressful.
can't stop bleeding. He said, well, because of the injury to the lung tissues.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's stressful for you to see that. I'm sure it's stressing you out. I mean, you've had
Oh, my
this
God.
animal so long, you love them.
I had nightmares before this happened about animals bleeding from their mouth. It's it's like the last thing you want to walk up on it is to see an animal bleeding from his mouth because that's not a good sign.
So what's the deal? What's causing this?
Yeah,
That's the $1 million question.
The fungal pneumonia.
Yeah, but how did he get it?
How do you pick it
How do
up?
you get a fungal pneumonia?
How do you get a fungal pneumonia? Absolutely, that's the big question. The thing is, I started doing some research to figure out, where would this fungal pneumonia come? I look up this subspecies. This fungus comes from grain and wheats and plants.
Huh.
But it's not of a very high concentration. You really shouldn't be getting sick from it. But after doing a little bit more research, I realized that when the farmers grow their grains and their plants and everything, they have a certain standard they have to follow. And that standard is they're only allowed so much of a percent of contamination. Let's just say 1% contamination of this Fusarium fungus. Well, if that farmer finds out he's at 1% or he's at 2% or 3%, what he does, it's common practice, he goes to other farmers, he gets a food stock that's not contaminated, and he mixes them together. So he ends up with the right balance of contamination.
But if you get
will.
that section that's got it, it doesn't matter, right?
Don't sound good to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't sound good at all.
Doesn't sound good to me.
But what are the implications for other tortoise and turtle keepers or animals that eat hay?
Well,
You know,
that's
how does this
exactly,
work?
This is the beginning process, doing this research and finding out, well, where is this coming from? I go back, I look over a period of time, and I have found other animals that had this Fusarium fungus infection. And like one of the two things I'm trying to do is, one, I'm working with some of the labs, two labs, to see if we can come up with a quick and easy test, like a culture PCR test, where we can go there, test that food, send it in once a week, once a month. It's not expensive, $19 or something like that, and you'll actually know that the food you're feeding is good.
Ah, that's important. What about, like, can this find its way into prepared tortoise diets and so on?
Yes, because the tortoise diets are made from grain.
Oh, man.
So,
So there's the quality control needs to be...
that's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah, we need to have stringent quality
Right.
control.
So I don't believe that in the tortoise world,
Right.
it's not like dogs and cats,
Right.
that they have the same quality control when it comes down to contamination, especially if things like hays and grains.
Right.
So I did some testing. I went around the yard and I stuck it in my grass. I stuck it over there. I put it over there. I put it over there. And guess what? I didn't get any fungal infection at all. No,
From the yard.
from the yard and
Right.
stuff like that. So I take it and I stick it in the chow. And guess what?
You found it in the chow.
No, not
What?
at all. I stuck it in the hay. And guess what I got? Loaded with fungus.
So nothing in the chow,
Right.
but you got it in the hay.
I got it in the hay. Now, I was kind of thinking, it might happen at different times of the year. That's why he always gets sick, in the spring or later in the winter. Maybe some of the hay that they're using rains in that area, or
Right.
maybe...
and when it gets baled, there might be some
Right.
fungus growing in there because
Right.
fungus
Right.
likes dark,
Right.
humid
Right.
environments. So, man, that's incredible.
Right. So being able to come up with a test kit that you can stick inside that soil or that hay or whatever and say, well, at least I know I've got a clean food source. I would like to see the people step up that produce the hay. I just don't see it happening.
Right.
And then, I'm sure a lot of people say, well, why isn't my horse sick? Your horse is not that tortoise.
Gotcha.
Why did HMS get sick and nobody else? Because HMS is an individual, just like you or I.
Right, so he may have been slightly
He's more sensitive to
immunocompromised
it.
or sensitive to it or
He might
whatever.
be just more sensitive, just
like a gluten
an allergy.
allergy.
It's the same thing.
Exactly. Look at that.
Yeah.
So here's what's going on. Sam actually got himself a GoFundMe page, and we're going to put that up. We'll put a graphic up so you guys can check it out, and you can help Sam help HMS. But a lot of the money you're getting is also going into developing this test, isn't it?
It's exactly it. To me, it's really a one-part case.
Okay.
So yes, I have to use some of the money to take care of HMS. The whole idea is keeping him alive.
Right. Well, because he's patient zero, essentially.
Exactly, he's patient
Yeah.
zero.
You have to keep him going because we want to know if we can reverse this
Right.
kind of problem.
Right.
And
what
then
drugs we're using.
Right.
What are the treatment for people that have this? I have a suspicion that there's a lot of people who have lost a lot of animals, don't know why, and have never come to realize that it may have been a contamination from a food source. And I'm not
Yeah.
talking about the fresh stuff that's in the yard.
No, we're talking about hay.
We're talking about hay and some of those commercially available products where there's a big chance for something to spoil and for us to think, oh, that's a great food, but it's not.
Well, there you go.
What can
And-
people do at home then? I mean,
Well, this is what people can do at home, and this is why we're doing this video, Tom, is we need to first educate tortoise and turtle keepers out there who are passionate about these animals and their animals and about the food they're giving them, and we have to get behind a gentleman like Sam who's doing the dirty work. I mean, he is out there, he's working with many different vets.
Yeah.
I mean, you're the one thing you have to
Dr.
understand.
Funk, Dr. Mader,
Right, Dr.
Gainesville.
Mader, Douglas Mader, Dr. Richard
Very,
Funk.
very involved in the case.
Yeah, they're just fantastic herp veterinarians. So here's the deal. You got to get behind this guy. You got to go to the GoFundMe page, and you have to give him whatever you can to further this cause. Whether it's $1, there's 185,000 subscribers on our channel. If you can contribute whatever you can on his GoFundMe page, it will go directly to this research and helping these vets and Sam figure it out. And just a little point of personal friendship here. Sam has helped me with so many of my tortoises. He is the guy I call when something's wrong with my animals, because he's not a vet, but he has seen a lot here. And when you have 600-pound tortoises, there's not a lot of people that can treat them, and it can get quite costly. Believe me, if this man couldn't cure this animal, it was definitely something he needed to get done. So why don't you go to that GoFundMe page. We appreciate Sam working. We hope HMS gets better. We're going to keep you guys updated, but I can promise you that we're going to find a solution to this, aren't we?
Yes.
Definitely.
We're going to find a solution. We're going to give people the tools to be able maybe to test their foods for those contaminants. So
there you have it.
when you're taking your animal you're concerned about, and it doesn't cost anything more, how about getting a fungal test in there just to see?
Right.
So, I mean,
all right, cool.
Sometimes little points make a big difference.
All right, man. Well, there you go. We've learned a lot today, and I hope you will support the GoFundMe page. We'll put it up there in the description on the screen. We'll see you guys again on another episode of Kamp Kenan, and thanks a lot, Sam, for your hard work, brother.
Yeah,
appreciate
thanks very
man.
much.